Hello there everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to FunAhead TV. In today's video, we are talking BMWs. Okay, so behind me is my 2007 BMW 530xi. I've owned this car for about 4 years now, and it is my daily driver, my daily mule car. So far, it's been a great car for me. I've had to do several things to kind of get it up to snuff from the time that I bought it, because it kind of had a neglected service history. But we got it up and running really nice and smoothly, and it honestly hasn't given me any troubles since I bought the car. A few little hiccups here and there, but nothing major. It's never left me stranded, etc. But it is now time to do some pretty major service on it. This car is now, like I said, it's a 2007, so it's 15 years old. It now has almost 162,000 miles, and most of the engine components and equipment, accessories, and everything are original. So what are we doing? Let's take a look under the hood really quick. Here is the 3-liter inline 6, known within BMW as the N52 engine. It is naturally aspirated, it is poured injected, and it is known to be one of their most reliable engines that they've made in a very long time. It does have Vanos, it does have Valvetronic, etc. But these are things that they were able to make very reliable by the time that this engine was produced. Some common problems with this engine are that in this area right here, and this is where we're going to be focusing some of our attention on during this project. This is the oil filter housing. It also has a cooler attached to it. I'll take this off to be able to show you a little bit better. There's the oil cooler. Now what happens is oil can leak, and you can maybe see it. I don't know if we have enough light. You can kind of see some residue here. The oil filter housing gasket will begin to leak, and then it will weep oil little by little, and it will go down the front of the engine. This is happening on my car. It's not terrible, but it is a thing that if it were to get worse, it could be a very bad situation, because for some reason the way that this ultimately will end up is oil will seep into the serpentine belt, make it swell, it will pop off one of the pulleys, and then when it pops off the crank pulley, the only way that it can go is between the pulley and the engine, and it actually has a tendency to get sucked into the engine through the crank seal, which causes some serious messes. You have to pull belt fragments out of the inside of your engine. So obviously we're trying to avoid having that happen. We're going to kind of nip this in the bud. Right now it's only just like a small amount of oil that's leaking from it. And BMWs, by the way, are notorious for having oil leaks, coolant leaks, whatever, or their gaskets go from a nice rubbery seal to just turning to hard plastic. And of course, at that point, once they age into hard plastic, they're not doing much in terms of sealing anymore. So not uncommon for a 15-year-old BMW to need some gaskets replaced. Valve cover gaskets are known to do the same thing. This vehicle will need its valve cover gasket replaced pretty soon. We're not going to be doing it right now, but it is something that we'll have to tackle eventually. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is, and we can't see it right now because there's not enough light, is replacing the idler pulleys on the accessory belt, and we'll also replace the accessory belt. I think the bearings in them are starting to go bad, and I can kind of hear it when the car is idling and running. It's not loud and obnoxious, but it's to the point where I'm like, okay, these 15-year-old 160-something mile bearings are obviously starting to show their age, so we might as well replace them. On the note of the oil cooler and oil filter housing, of course, in order to get to these components, we'll have to drain the coolant, which it is a coolant-cooled oil cooler. So we'll have to drain the coolant, and we'll have to drain the oil, so we'll have fluids out of it. As a while you're in there item, I'm going to be doing several things to the cooling system. A known failure item on these engines is the expansion tanks. As they age, they become brittle, and of course these plastic expansion tanks are always under high pressure while the engine is warm and running, and eventually they'll burst and leave you stranded because you blow all your coolant. So I have a new expansion tank ready to go. along with that, we're actually going to replace the cap as well for the expansion tank, because actually you can see here, see the gasket right here has it. The sealing surface has completely broken, and I noticed this recently, that the cap, even the plastic in the cap, has aged to the point where it too has broken. And I mean, I could probably just chunk the rest of this apart. It's that brittle. It seems like the name of the game on this channel is replacing aging plastics, you know, whether it's on this car, or probably someday we'll do some projects on that car. Anyway, gonna replace the expansion tank while we're doing that, because of course all of this, like I said, we're draining out the coolant. We're going down here, which you cannot see, but down in that area is the electronic water pump. That is another known failure item on this engine. It's not so much a failure item, it's just a maintenance item, and it needs to be done every 50 to 100,000 miles. I know that, like I said, this car has about 161,000 miles, 162. It has not been done since I've owned it. I know that it has been done in the past, but I don't know at what mileage it was done. And so being that it's a 50 to 100,000 mile replacement item, it's probably almost due, and we might as well do it now while we have the coolant drained, because I don't want to do it again in like a year and have to re-drain all the coolant and deal with it then. Also, while everything's out for the water pump, we'll do the thermostat as well. Okay, now let's look at everything that we're gonna be swapping out here. Do some unboxing. Serpentine belt, like I said, tensioner and pulley. We have our new idler pulley, new coolant expansion tank cap, the expansion tank itself. Here is our new water pump. Of course, it's kind of hard to see with this bag here, but that's it. New water pump. Along with that, we have our new thermostat housing and thermostat. These are quite elaborate because Germans and BMW. This is the oil filter housing gasket. This is the oil cooler gasket. We've got our fresh coolant, and then we're doing an oil change while we're at it. Oil filter, coffee, the essentials. All right, so here's what we're working with. Off camera, I went ahead and removed the splash shield that normally goes right in this area here. So this right here is our water pump. Right next to it here is the thermostat housing. All of this stuff is very jammed in here. Obviously it's quite oily too. I think we've got basically an oil pan gasket leak. And then if we look up here, we can see, come on, focus. Basically we have our oil filter housing that's leaking way up there. You can kind of see some oil residue. Yep. So a lot of that has made its way down here. But man, this is going to be a pain, and I'm really not looking forward to this. Several of these hoses that go into the water pump and the thermostat housing are freaking way back there and pretty inaccessible. So this will be very interesting to see how we go about doing this. Alrighty, we've got the coolant draining now. As you can see, it's kind of just trickling, but I'm also trying to avoid just letting it splash like onto the floor everywhere. And yes, I have a drain pan sitting on a very janky old piece of cabinet. Don't hate. So we're starting with that, getting the coolant drain out of it, and then we will proceed to draining oil and cleaning that area up and starting to remove some hoses. Alrighty, so here's where we're at currently. As you maybe just saw, I took the cover off of the top of the radiator so that I could get access or get the ability to remove the fan. That opens up a lot of space here in front of the engine. We're going to need that, I believe, when we're taking the water pump out down there. That's going to need that real estate that the fan takes up. And then, so you can kind of see it way down here, but I just pulled one of the hoses off the thermostat housing, which was a total pain in the butt to get to. The other one I've yet to loosen, but working on it, trying to get to it. I mean, it's just the hoses that go to the back of the water pump and of the thermostat housing are such a freaking pain. And I don't know, I've yet to figure out fully how to get to them. Next, we're going to lift the car up again to try and get whatever access we can to hopefully be able to remove either the pump or the thermostat. I think once we get one out, we'll be able to get enough access behind the other to take those hoses out. So I don't know, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It's not the greatest. Alrighty, well, good news. We got the new thermostat and water pump in. Sorry I didn't show it. It was would have just been a bunch of footage of me like reaching up into the car from the bottom. It really was like a total jigsaw puzzle. Basically, I ended up having to remove all the hoses for the thermostat. You can get to those from the top. Actually, this is the one hose to the thermostat. You can kind of see it way down there. I was able to loosen the hose clamp and get it off, and then getting to the one in the back was a pain. You kind of just have to like reach up through the car while pulling on the thermostat from the front. Man, and then so I got the thermostat out, and then I was able to wiggle the last pipe off of last hose off of the water pump. Yeah, so that's all buttoned up and plugged in, good to go. So I'm pretty happy about that. And there they are. I just sent the oil filter cooler housing on a quick trip through the parts washer. Just got a lot of the gunk and grime off of it. Got the old gaskets out. On the note of the old gaskets, here's the filter housing one. They were not super crazy brittle, which is surprising, but they were definitely leaking. And there's like corrosion, it seems, with the cylinder head here. This is like actual raised up corrosion with the coolant. So that's strange, but I suppose that just means that the coolant got acidic and it was, needed flushed a long time ago, and there was deferred maintenance and they didn't do it. Gaskets toast. Here's the one for the cooler side. Also toast, flattened. It's actually pretty rubbery still, but they're just excessively flattened for sure. Now that we've got housing all cleaned up, I'm gonna continue to just kind of clean this area up a little bit more the best I can. So then we'll button all this back up with regards to the filter housing and the cooler and all that. Then we will take the expansion tank off and replace it, and we can start putting fluids back in it, which is exciting. So we're making progress. We're getting there. And of course, I got to freaking put together the entire undercover, and not looking forward to that. I hate undercovers, but all right, let's get to work and stop freaking complaining about it. Well, I'm sorry everybody. My camera ended up having some battery issues, so I wasn't able to get the last few things on camera. So I think last thing you guys would have seen is I replaced the expansion tank. But then, basically I ended up swapping the pulleys, which was very quick and easy. You just have to, loosen them real quick, tighten them back on. 40 Newton meters for the idler pulley, and then 25 Newton meters plus 90 degrees for the tensioner. Put the new serpentine belt on, I topped the engine up with oil, or filled the engine up with oil rather, because it was completely empty. And then I filled up the coolant expansion tank, and I'm doing the bleeding process currently. BMWs have a pretty cool bleeding process. You can kind of hear it. Basically what you do is you ignition on, you have to turn the fan to low, you have to turn the seat heater on, and then what else? You have to, turn the temp settings to max heat, and then hold the accelerator pedal down for 10 seconds. And then after that, it just starts running the electronic water pump, the pump that we just replaced. And so, but all you have to do is fill up the expansion tank to full, and then do that sequence, and then it does its own bleeding, which is pretty freaking sweet. After that, you just open the cap again, check to make sure that the coolant level is still good, and then and if it needs topped up a little bit more, you can add some. So far so good. I don't see any drips anywhere. The real test is going to be once we get the engine running and actually get some pressure in the coolant system. I'm a little worried that maybe one of the hoses that are like the quick release style, like this style here, maybe one isn't completely pushed on and it's going to pop off under pressure. That would suck terribly, but you never know. Oh yeah, and then other than that, we just put the radiator fan back in. That was really easy. Put the whole bulkhead back together. We're going to have to do the dreaded task of putting the undercovers back on once this is all good and said and done. I'm leaving them off for now just so I can keep monitoring everything in that area to make sure that nothing is leaking. But once the bleeding process is finished, I'll put those back on and we'll go for a test drive. Alrighty, well, here we are a few days later. The car is now parked back in my garage. I've driven it maybe 3 or 4 times to work and back. There are no leaks of any kind coming from the car after disconnecting all of those coolant lines and hoses and everything. Everything seems to be running perfectly. Another successful yet kind of infuriating shop time. Gotta love getting all those coolant hoses when they're completely inaccessible. Anyway, with that, thank you so much for tuning into FunAhead TV. I hope you guys found this at least somewhat informative. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It helps out the channel a lot, and I really appreciate it. And with that, I will see you guys next time.